Hello and welcome to We Got a podcast about Dragon Ball from A to Z, from Earth to Namek to Sadala. We cover it all. My name is Randy.
And I'm Doug.
And I also forgot to come up with something, Ken.
That's okay, because
I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah, and that's okay, because we're the world's strongest under the heavens trio de dangers here every other week to talk your ear off about fights, goofs, everything else in the Dragon Ball cosmos. Doug, how you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing fantastic. I just upgraded my desk. It's beautiful. Nobody can see it but me right now, but trust me, where there was no space, now there's plenty of space for more figures. Yes, I found more space for more figures. You're welcome, world.
Ken.
Speaking of figures, I want to just jump right into it. I just got my Son Gohan Beast figure.
Damn you, it looks so good.
He does. I do have a big complaint with this figure, though, because they have Tamashii Nations has started doing this thing where the joints for his chest and everything are hidden under some kind of like soft plastic.
Yeah.
And if my camera would focus on that, it won't. But
it's not
which actually limits his articulation. So,
I think I heard of a workaround around that where you have to like run him under hot water, but I would never do that. But it kind of loosens it a bit.
Well, no, I mean he's limited because of the plastic that is now folding in front of his joints as they move. So like even on the box, you know, Gohan's shooting his Makanko Sappo, and he's supposed to have his arm like right on his bicep, and he's like just holding his arm out here. But Doug, I have more to tell you on the original as an original superhero Gohan figure. Because he does not have that kind of like soft plastic that can move around, he can actually hit.
Oh, that one does?
Push his arm on there. So
yeah, I have 3 of him for no reason. But yeah.
I understand where they're going with it, but
you can just put the Beast Gohan head on that Gohan figure in theory, can't you?
But then he's not battle damaged,
right? And we're always canon accurate around here.
Yeah.
So
what is cool about this figure is it does come with a bespoke little Makanko Sappo hand.
Nice.
And the beam is actually attached to the fingers, so you can hold it up like that. It's lightweight. It comes with a separate stand to kind of go under it.
To hold it up. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And then it comes with the Makanko Sappo fingers without the beam, which I'll have to replace because this is the Gohan I have here that's firing it off is actually using one of Goku's hands.
Oh, no shit. Okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Transmission.
Yeah, I can't wait till mine gets here in like a month later because I don't know why. Since I live on the other side of the world, they decided to ship mine last.
Yeah, you do live a little further away from California.
I got the notification like last week that they're thinking about sending mine out. Like one of those. I don't know why they bothered doing that. Like, yeah, we're going to ship yours out soon. We'll send you a notification.
I just got my thinking about email for Frieza third form.
Yes, me too.
And,
yes. I'm so excited for that one. That one more than Gohan. It's going to look so good.
I've been thinking about devoting a whole shelf just to Frieza. Because now I'm about to have too much Frieza.
I'm getting a lot of Frieza. I'm getting a lot of Frieza this year between the SH Figure Arts and the Ichiban Kujis that are coming out with him in his second, third, and final form. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll put Kula on that shelf too, and then.
Oh yeah, the Metal Cooler. I'm getting Metal Cooler.
King Cold is coming too.
Oh my god! Yeah.
I'll just have the Frieza shelf, and
we are eating good, man. We're eating great. So yeah. Randy, I'm sorry. You're allowed to speak now. So
I'm just basking in your guys' enthusiasm.
One last acquisition. I got this from
you off.
From Etsy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just have to show.
Whoa!
This dumb little check
That's
it out.
So
it's
sick.
Official. I wish I could have customized it more because the D is too small. But hey,
isn't
life
it common?
Life imitates art. So
I'm real sorry about that. Real sorry about your small D, Doug.
That's all right. It's a grower, not a shower. So, but Randy, how you doing? Speaking of growing, not showers.
I was waiting. I opened my mouth a little bit, and I was waiting to see if Doug would interrupt me again after saying, "Go ahead, tell us about it." Oh, but wait,
sorry.
Apology accepted. I'm doing good. What else? What have I been up to? I took a trip with my mom. Does that sound cool?
You can make it sound cooler.
I can because we went mini golfing, and guess who got a hole in one on one of the holes? This guy.
This guy has video proof.
Not just any hole in one. A hole in one so good that I, at first blush, was convinced it was like some sort of doctored
video
footage.
shopped.
Yeah.
Well, for some reason, it's a simple hole, but he bounced it around the wall 5 different times and just somehow managed to make it in the hole. It was beautiful, Randy.
Thank you. I tell you, the VR training that I've been doing pays off.
That
It translates.
Walkabout mini golf has been your training just to crush your mom. Did you put money on it or something? Or
No, but I did beat her by 10 strokes, so I think I did a good job.
winner buys ice cream. So yep.
Exactly. Speaking of VR training, I've been playing Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance recently. It's the third time I've played this game, but the first time with context, because if you've been listening to this show, earlier this year I was like, I'm doing it, guys. 2023, I'm actually going to play Metal Gear Solid games. I've never done that before. So playing them chronologically, and I got to the point where it's Revengeance time, and I just went hard on it. Took me like, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't all in one sitting, but whenever it was gaming time, it was time for that. So that's good.
On your Steam Deck, right?
Mostly, yes. I did play some of it on the PC at home. But yeah, Steam Deck was kind of
nice. I think it's so versatile.
It is. And in fact, right after I finished that, I installed Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes and started playing that right away this afternoon on the Steam Deck as well. I have played that one before, just because I don't know why. It looked cool, and I had a new graphics card, I think, at the time, so I was like, I gotta try it on this game. And then, of course, it's like an hour long, so it was good times.
Ground Zeroes is great because that game will run on a potato. They made
the Fox engine, man.
They made the single best graphical engine known to man, and it was used for 2 games and Pro Evolution Soccer, and they trashed it.
Damn, they never used it for Survive?
Yes, Survive. But maybe, is that really?
But we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
So that's fun. I'm excited because after Ground Zeroes, I never played the Phantom Pain, and I was like, well, it's too long, and also I don't have enough context to go into this. But now I'm here.
You're almost there.
So yeah, guys.
The Phantom Pain is absolute peak Metal Gear gameplay. So if you like Ground Zeroes, think of it if they took Ground Zeroes, but then like had added in all the goofy, wacky Metal Gear-ness to it. That's Phantom Pain.
Good.
Nice.
Am I going to be satisfied with the story?
You will be after we discuss it when you're done.
Okay.
We'll go through and I'll be like Charlie from It's Always Sunny, and I'll show you how everything connects and everything like that. You do need to play Peace Walker though, actually.
I watched the movie.
Okay.
So
there's a movie?
Because
somebody on YouTube just put all the cutscenes and like the gameplay snippets that are required. So
okay. Yeah. I mean, Phantom Pain is a direct sequel to.
Yeah, I know. I watched it.
Okay.
Dang it, my freaking eye again.
But you can.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that messed up my. So, hey guys, I'm Doug.
Who am I?
Yeah, you're Randy. No, wait, you're me.
Okay.
You're me now.
I'm Ken. I'm Ken.
But you're not me as Doug. You're just me as me.
Okay.
I'm Doug.
Right. Okay, well, you have this conversation about the story and stuff as if you were Doug.
Well, Randy, forget that bit.
Okay.
We could have played that game multiplayer.
We could have. I mean, I played just like a little bit of it, and I was like, I don't really want to play this. And then I just looked up a movie.
Peace Walker is incredible multiplayer. The boss fights, especially. The boss fights you can do 4 people, and they're so much fun. So,
are you just like dudes that you've brought to your base, or are you all Snake? Like, what's the deal?
Well, in Phantom Pain, in Peace Walker, you can play as anyone from your base, I think. Or you can play Snake. But I don't remember. I think maybe you just show up on other people's screens as like a random base soldier, but wearing the masks and everything. Mm-hmm. In Phantom Pain, mask off, baby. You can play as the women too.
Oh, interesting. Do they have characters from all across the history, even if it's not canon? Like, could I just be Meryl from one?
There are costumes, but you can't. You can't play as like Meryl and stuff. Maybe
all costumes work.
Oh gosh, no, probably not even in Metal Gear Online, because that's all different now.
Sorry, Metal Gear makes me cry every time I think about it.
Every time.
Dude, I'm telling you, Snake had a hard life.
Beautiful.
It's true.
Yeah.
Are we back where we're supposed to be, Ken?
Yes, we're back.
Okay, great. He threw us all around in the Discord call
All
recording.
according to Kokaku.
Kokaku.
All according
Anyway.
to Kotaku.com.
We talked about some Metal Gear. I don't know if I included it there because Doug had an eye emergency. Like he said, Metal Gear Solid makes him cry every time. Always. So enough about that. And I want to talk about what we're here to talk about, fellas. Because, well, we watched some more GT. I mean, we did Sandland. We took a break and we came back for more of the Dragon Ball GT retrospective of Auspiciosity. So here we are to talk more about that. And I'm going to tell you what has happened in GT so far. So if case this is your first episode, you know what's going on. Emperor Pilaf, remember that guy from Dragon Ball? He back. And he, using the Black Star Dragon Balls, accidentally wishes to turn Son Goku into a child. After the wish, the Dragon Balls scatter across the galaxy and must be returned to Earth within 1 year or else the planet will explode. Goku, Trunks, Pan, and their new robot friend Giru have found many Dragon Balls on their travels, but have stirred a new enemy to action. Baby. And we're covering, this time, episodes 23 to 27 of Dragon Ball GT, which aired between August 28th, 1996 and November 6th, 1996. Ken, would you tell us about episode 23, or do you have something you want to just jump in and say before
I like to, before we do these, I like to talk about
get a big feeling.
Yeah,
Take the temperature.
What's the mood?
Big picture.
The mood of these episodes, yeah. I am glad that we read AF when we did, because I think I saw so much of AF in the latter 3 episodes that we read or watched, and just the feel of the way these characters are written and the way that the action was paced reminded me a lot of like Zycor just suddenly showing up and going straight into it.
I didn't even think about that. But
You're blowing Doug's mind right here.
There's a lot of...
This is just the AF.
Yeah, you can see where Toyotaro's energy and inspiration came so heavily from GT in that part. I liked these episodes. I'm hesitant to say if I like them a lot. I definitely really enjoyed them. But it's just such a shock being back on Earth. Yeah. And I was starting to get like confused about the logic of the universe and how characters were maybe not where they're supposed to be, and how would they have gotten there, and why is Baby going here, and what's going on. But
all that, yeah.
If I separated myself from the logic of everything, this is just like episode 2, where it was just being back with these characters. I think all of these characters are so well written. They feel so fully realized as the evolutions of the versions of those characters that we knew from Z. I really enjoyed it. I hesitate to say if I liked it a lot.
I'm a little opposite of you, where I really enjoyed those last 3 episodes. Maybe because I'm so sick of the main trio of Pan, Trunks, and Goku. Seeing someone else is like such a relief. I'm like, oh great, finally different characters with their own personalities. I liked them a lot, actually. This is the first time I'm like, yes, I can't wait to watch more GT after this.
Wow.
Finally.
We're at a turning point for Doug. That's great. I'll agree that I liked it a lot. And I think the only reason why, if you're on the same wavelength as me, Ken, why you might hesitate to say that you'd like them like the most out of all these is just because it's kind of apples and oranges between the ones that we really liked before, following Goku, Pan, and Trunks for space adventures, because that's more lighthearted and just like a fun adventure. And this is like the plot is just steamrolling ahead.
Plot.
Yep, exactly. And we've got a whole different cast of characters and new settings. So it's old setting.
Setting.
Yeah, it's so different. But I think enjoyment wise, through the roof. I loved these so much.
So episode 23.
Let's do it.
With the threat of Baby no longer looming.
Oh, what's the episode title?
Oh, well, Doug, why don't you tell us?
A hidden danger, the derelict ship, and the mysterious boy.
With the threat of Baby no longer looming, the Saiyans pack up and leave M2 to continue their adventure. In space, they come across a derelict ship plummeting towards a star that contains their next Dragon Ball. Searching the ship, they find not just the ball, but also a mysterious green-haired boy who looks just like Chrono. Goku and company save the child and have a daring escape from the busted-up ship and the powerful gravity of the star, and head for planet Pital to get the boy some much-needed medical care. But the boy is more than he seems.
Oh!
Uchiyama, Poopyama.
Yeah.
He's here in full effect.
What a way to start the deck of episodes.
But got him out of the way. So.
Yeah, that's true. Every other episode after this.
This does clear something up.
I mean, well, forget what I said. Made no sense.
So, as I've said before, after we record these episodes, that frees me up, and Randy, I think, frees you up as well. We go back and we listen to the Kanzenshu GT review of Awesomeness.
Yes.
And when I listened to them discuss the past episodes that we watched, at the end of the last episode when Baby is escaping, they were confused as to why it looked like planet M2 that he's looking at. And I guess that never registered with me when I was watching it. But then we find out, he went to M2 and took over Rild's corpse. Was Rild alive at that point? I need a Rild life check.
He was the planet.
Yeah.
Planet's not dead. He's still there. I mean, there's still metal stuff. Who knows? I mean, machine mutants are a whole new breed.
I mean, I thought with how genocidal our heroes were, I thought they were going to just destroy that planet on their way out.
Right?
I like Trunks trying to reason with who he assumed was Rild. He's like, dude, Mew's dead. Just leave us alone.
Give it up. Yeah, give it up.
Even so, like you said, being, genocidal, Doug, like, Rild shows up, and I was like, really? After all the stuff you put Goku through his paces, they're like, just 3 unnamed ki blasts will do dude in.
Yeah.
I love how usually it's like, it's an unspoken, they understand all 3 of them are going to shoot a ki blast, but this time Goku's like, let's shoot a ki blast at him. And then they do.
Yeah. And he's Kida.
Kida.
Just use ki, all right, sure.
Yeah, gotcha. Makes sense. Unless
it's like a cool way of Goku just being like, hey, this guy is weak now. It's whatever.
That's true.
We all got Zenkai boosts after the ordeal.
Yeah, man, I always forget about those. Probably because the story.
I thought Zenkai boost could only take them so far.
Well, how off the rails do you want to get in?
It just feels like it could be its own.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I actually had a friend who was asking me about Zenkai boosts and stuff, and so I hurriedly ran to my manga. I was flipping through pages. So I have actually a lot I want to talk about Zenkai boosts at some point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Because I think they're interesting. We'll get to it another time.
I think Toriyama had to find a reasoning where they couldn't just do the Krillin Vegeta method over and over and over again, where they just blast each other. They're like, no, we need to nip that in the bud now. But yeah.
So we're going into space now, and we're like, all right, forget Baby's in the past. We beat that guy. We beat Rild. Let's go and just find these Dragon Balls. We got stuff to do.
Right.
And we find a derelict ship that's going to fall into a star, and then it's like, come, the music placement. Stop it with this.
I know we're beating a dead horse here, but damn it, the music just keeps letting us down every time.
It's like
I gotta go in and do an edit, but instead of that song, put that one Dragon Ball Super tune.
Yeah, the Goku entrance one.
God, so awful.
There's a time and a place for these tracks, and that's not the time or the place. That's a fun, relaxing song.
It's such a shame because I really, like I said before, I wish someone would fan edit this and put in Kokichi music over it. But even if they did do that, I don't think I would revisit these episodes with the OG Dragon Ball Z music. You know what I mean?
It would be so great, if we could just get some if we could get the M&E tracks, the music and effects tracks separate, and just throw in some Kikuchi, just make it happen.
I mean, eventually they're going to have the AI tools to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
I mean, what I'm saying is my interest of rewatching it would be diminished. I would not, even if it was. It had to be 10 more years before I decide to watch GT again.
That's fair. So we're on the ship, and man, the tone of this episode gets wild, and I really like it, even though I kind of wish the horror elements were a bit more
bumped up.
Pushed. Yeah.
We see the Capsule Corp spacesuits again.
That's right.
We haven't seen since Namek or since movie 6.
Movie 6, the best. Movie 6, the best. Movie 6, the best.
Thank you, Doug. Doug gets it.
I hate you.
Sarcasm.
So they go off to investigate, and they're like, "Oh, it's gonna take 5 minutes before the ship crashes." And then, oh no, Giru miscalculated. Only 2 minutes to go.
Which is just my least favorite trope in anything, especially when you do it with Dragon Ball.
He must have had Frieza's calculator. Is all I'm saying.
Frieza notoriously bad with
minutes.
numbers. Yeah.
The whole episode in just 5 minutes. But like, I wish maybe it was a little more thought out. Where every time they're like, time is running out before we can escape the gravity's pull of the sun that's pulling this ship in. I was like, why didn't they just leave Trunks or Pan on the ship? Goku goes to someone and investigates, and then he just used instant transmission to locate the energy of the person that left behind on the ship, and then just zoom back. Like, there's no...
Can't do it. Remember on Omega when they tried to use the instantaneous movement, and they just went like 10 feet in the air and then just fell down?
They already nipped that in the bud. Oh, see, I forgot all about that. Okay.
I loved the line, which is, it's translated this way in the subtitles, is use Bukujutsu to escape.
Yes, that threw me off.
I'm like, man, Steve, come on. You could just... There's easy ways to word these things.
You guys just coming off of playing Kakarot, the DLC for the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai, like, because that's where Bukujutsu is like a big deal, right? Because Goku uses it for the first time to defeat Piccolo, right? Mm-hmm. So like, I'm thinking like in this episode, like how does that doesn't sound natural in English if you say that? Like, guys, let's just use the flying technique. It's like,
use the lighter than air technique.
Yeah.
The sky dancing.
I guess they're just lucky that Giru knows it too, because otherwise they left him out to die.
No, you just say like, let's fly to get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be confused by that.
This reminded me a lot of the Kamehameha star escaping filler.
It's absolutely a pull from that.
Yeah, it's just reusing that.
Yeah.
And, we play Mario Kart with a guy named JP, who knows a whole lot about space. And I'm so like brain poisoned while watching this episode. I'm like, God, he can never find out about the broken physics that are happening in this episode.
Yeah. Oh my God. I wish visually when they flew that they had like it showed them going all out flying, like with ki aura around them or whatever, like showing them, because in the show they just look like they're just going normal, like with the sound
it's really
effect,
hard to follow.
But usually, when they do on Earth, when there's like the aura around them, I would love to have seen that, and them struggling just sitting in one place.
Right. Maybe some gritting teeth you can see, some beads of sweat or something. Be like, we really got to struggle. Because otherwise, like, are we going to make it? Like they're trying to like trick the boy or Giru into like, we might not make it. Just kidding. This is easy for us.
Now, there are some...
like, Trunks be like, sorry, you got to drop the boy off. Got to lose some weight. Just drop the boy off into the sun.
There are some cool visuals in this episode, though. Despite being Uchiyama related. There's a lot, like, I know there's a part where it almost looks like a 2D platformer as they're escaping the ship and there's lava everywhere. It just looks cool. Or lava fire. Yeah. So
they take the boy, they get away from the star, they go to planet Patal for some medical facilities because kid's real roughed up. Looking through here, what did I write down? Lots of funky aliens here. Time passes. Doctor says he's fine because of their great medical tech. Goku is hiding because he hates needles. More filler callback.
More filler callback.
And when they did the needles bit in this episode, I hated it. I hated it.
Old really quick because they relied on it too much for a comic.
Well, I'm saying I hated it at first. We'll talk about my feelings later in the next episode.
Okay.
But here, I was like, God, and I was not a happy boy.
What did it about you? Was it him yelling about it? Like just...
Yeah, it's just like ultra childish, and then the art doesn't help either, and him hiding under there. And
I mean, he is a boy now, so makes sense.
Okay, let's talk about the math of Baby's plan here, okay?
Yeah.
So, Trunks and the group escapes from M2. We clearly see Baby is still on M2. Okay.
Yeah.
And Trunks says, "Don't worry. Once we get far enough away, they can't catch up to us."
Mm-hmm.
And then along their way, they find a derelict ship.
That Baby is already.
That Baby has already sucked the life out of everyone there.
Yeah.
Placed the 1-star Dragon Ball in this thing, and then taken over the body of the boy.
He's just that powerful. Whatever that means.
Fast. Well, do we have any cuts there where we could feasibly be like, it's been some time, it's not like literally that afternoon, they're like, hey,
maybe they took a detour to find another Dragon Ball that we don't know about? Because are we keeping track of how many Dragon Balls they've gotten?
Yeah, the show is actually really
Okay.
on point.
I know for the
that.
last 3, because it's a special, like we need to wrap it up, but I don't know how many they had at the time or anything.
I just don't see a world in which it makes sense of how Baby got ahead of them.
Dude, wormholes exist, man. He could have just like gone through one of those. You need me to explain to you with a piece of paper and pen? I can show you.
Show us your Einstein-Rosen-Bridge math.
Yeah.
And
you get the idea.
I do. I mean, just come on. Just let it happen.
Listen,
okay.
I am the type of viewer who loves to turn my brain off for things. Like, I have that capability within me. And even I was having a problem like this with the logic of what's going on.
It's because he brags about it. He's like, yeah, this is all according to my plan. I'm like, how did you formulate this plan?
This is where I started to feel like, I know it's going to happen in this batch of episodes that we're watching. I know we're shifting here. And it's starting to feel like they had a chessboard and they just took a whole bunch of the pieces off and like moved the queen to the other side of the board ahead of where it should be and moved a rook over here, some random place.
Great. One of your greatest analogies.
That's so good.
It makes sense.
So the boy awakens, gets up, and just blows up the hospital room. Who could he be? So surprising.
This is a spoiler for. Well, I'll leave it vague, but it totally reminded me in Breaking Bad, Doug, when the thing in the old folks' home explodes.
Oh,
the door blows open.
Yeah,
I almost wanted to make an edit of that.
Of that? Oh, that would have been a good edit. Yeah.
Still got time.
Him walking out.
Post it as the when you post like, hey, episode's up, and then instead of you have the link.
It's
you can
too much of a spoiler for those who haven't seen the show, so we can't.
Oh, okay. Thank you, I suppose, for that.
Episode 24?
Yeah. Let's jump into it. So episode 24 is Baby Strikes Back. Target the Saiyans. Inside the mysterious boy was Baby all along. He enacts his plan to possess Trunks by luring him on his own. Baby succeeds in infecting a wound on Trunks' arm, but is forced out by his strong Saya power. Unable to survive the onslaught of Trunks, Pan, and Goku, Baby escapes on a ship to try another target.
How great was it that Trunks sucks at catching fish with his hands, but Goku is an expert?
Oh, that's good. I did love that.
It makes sense, yeah. It was just annoying how it was just like, I don't want to go back in the hospital. The hospital is the only place on this entire planet with food. I was like, okay.
That does make it quite the conundrum for him. Absolutely.
For the planet.
Yeah, I guess overall.
We finally hit the pawn moment, if you will.
Oh no.
Kind of overblown, I think. It's presented innocently enough.
Oh.
We didn't need it.
Kinda.
We didn't need it, no. But I didn't, in a show that's really mistreated this character in uncomfortable ways, I thought this was... It
was just extra weird that then the green kid comes up behind her and like is being creepy for his own like reasons, but like it's still, if you were just a viewer without reading the mind of the green kid, he's like, why is he giving him that creepy look?
Oh, you perv. Yeah. No, I'm creepy for other reasons.
Yeah. My own bespoke reasons, you'll see.
Silly deer.
I like that Baby has to keep up this whole thing of like being this small boy, and it's like he's supposed to be threatening, but then just like an old doctor man's like, you gotta go back to bed, and he's like, shucks.
Darn it.
He's not powerful enough yet.
Yeah, can't do it.
I gotta say, I do like this Baby's voice. Like I have never seen this in Japanese, and hearing this voice actor for Baby I think he's great. He's nailing it.
Yes, he's all very like this, and the creepy kid in the back of the class.
But it fits, and it's not like too cheesy or corny. It's great.
I do like
just
it. It is
right amount of menacing.
Speaking of menacing, man, the way Baby takes people over is real creepy. Like this episode, they did a really good job, like showing him taking over the boy's body and living in his stomach, and then like
I hate it,
erupting and attacking him in this cool way, latching onto his face, and then Baby's face is over his face like a mask.
It was really weird when he took over the doctor and then it came out of the stomach of the doctor. Like,
so stupid. I thought it was so dumb. But when they kept doing it, I was like, all right, I've come around on it. You're committing to the bit. I'm here.
Yep.
I thought the needle stuff paid off here in this episode. I thought it was a lot of fun. Yeah, when the part where Goku is up in the tree and they can't get him down, like, and then there's something that where it ties into Baby's plan. I forget the exact details. I just have written up, okay, the needle thing paid off a little bit with Baby bringing it up, and I don't remember what exactly that
what he
meant,
said, yeah.
but that like Baby, the villain, had to address his Goku needle thing. I'm like, okay,
I think during watching it, I tried rationalizing his fear of needles, and it's just like he's trained his entire life to not get hit. That an instance where he's willingly getting stuck and hurt with something is just so alien to him that it hurts like the Dickens. I don't know.
So many people really do hate needles. Like when I go to the when I go to the doctor for a checkup and they take my blood out, I look right at it. And it freaks the nurses out when I do that because I'm like,
really?
This is cool. Yeah, I like look at it going in. I look at the
I do the same thing. Yeah.
And they're like, "What are you doing, you freak?" And I'm like, "It's cool. I think it's cool."
You're sucking blood out of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer to think of human bodies as just mystery meat sacks. I don't want to know what's happening in there. I don't want to look.
Right.
Nothing of that.
As long as it functions.
Yeah.
Dude,
Exactly.
you're just a skeleton with skin on top of it, man.
I hope so. I hope that's all that's there.
Okay, we need to talk about canon, guys.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I'm going to ask you a question. Is it not canonical that Gohan has his father's appetite?
Yeah, from the
25th.
The Trunks special.
The 20.
I
Well,
remember.
that too. Chow
Budokai.
Time. And the 25th
Chew
Tenkaichi
attack.
Budokai when he,
Right.
Vegeta, and Goku
Where
are all
it's
sitting
just
around
like
that table eating.
generalize it, it's just Saiyans that
Yeah.
have an appetite.
But then Trunks and Pan don't have that here. Pan.
Yeah.
Pan.
And Pon. Pon.
I guess I don't remember it being so much attributed to Gohan as well.
Because it was just those 2 times, really. But that could just be attributed to anyone who's strong, because they work out all the time and they're always hungry.
It's true.
So I've heard.
Wow, what a dig at Trunks.
Secondhand information. I put here, Trunks knew all along things were fishy.
I hate
it. But also, he wasn't the only one that knew, because he asked for Goku to help save him when Baby is attacking him as the doctor. And Goku was actually the one to notice that things were funky because he never forgets a key.
I
don't
that.
think that's a new thing.
It's established. They have to establish it for these episodes because it's brought up again.
That's fair. But I'm just saying, I don't think that's been a thing before. I'm not saying it's wrong or you can't do it. I just think this is new information.
There's no
that has
lead
never
up. There's
been-
no clues that were like, oh, Goku figured out what I couldn't. No,
never
it's just-
said it
it's
like
just-
in the Boo arc of like, I never forget a key. Like,
yeah.
all right.
I don't think it's that outlandish.
I don't think so either. Again, it's not outlandish.
I buy
just
it.
think that it's strange thing to be like.
Key detection in the series proper has always been so confusing to me, because it's when I picture it working as in like there are just levels of key, not one distinguished to one character or another, but it's just like, oh, this is around the level where Goku was at. Oh, this is around the level where Vegeta was at. So I'm assuming that's that character. Because when Gohan arrives to fight Boo, Piccolo is like, whoa, whose key is that? Is that Goku? And then it's like, no, it's Gohan. It's
Well, then you have the whole thing with Cell showing up, and they're like, Goku's over there. Wait, no, Frieza's over
Frieza's there. Yeah, that's the two that always like throws me off. They're very contradicting.
It's always, I think I've taken it is everybody has their own thing. You know, how do I put this? They have their own flavor.
Yeah, a feel, just a feeling.
Yeah. Like you can have murderous key, which is like, this
like
guy's got an
murderous
intent to kill. Yeah. So.
It's like when you're walking around the apartment and all the lights are off, and you're like, oh, murderous intent. Where is it?
Yeah.
Where's it coming from? And it's just a cat.
It's just your wife.
Yeah. So I have written here Zenpai moment. Because I'd like to address some controversy from the last episode.
Yes.
Of some trivia that was issued. So I have 2 notes about my notes. First of all, the trivia from last episode was trivia from this set of episodes about Dr. Mew's Dragon Ball preventing addition, or however the thing was worded.
Stuff we wouldn't know until we watch these episodes.
I'm saying Zenpai was playing foul. All right.
Very foul.
That was inappropriate conduct to be
we will not have that
from another set of episodes. And secondly, I still disagree with the assessment. It's just because they didn't detect the Dragon Ball doesn't mean that even the way Baby words it here, Baby says it was stored as data. The Dragon Ball was somehow stored as data within Dr. Mew, which is not me saying like I have added some anti-Dragon Ball detection stuff. So, because they didn't detect it when they went back to Planet Mew, or M2, I mean, where the Dragon Ball should have been there somewhere.
Yeah.
Baby's doing who knows what to get to the derelict ship. They don't notice it until it's in the derelict ship. So I'm just saying, sloppy writing on, the part of our friends at Dragon Ball GT does not necessarily mean that we got that question wrong last week. Doug's on my side.
I accept that. Yeah. I'm with that. I would have got it wrong either way, but yeah.
Cool fight, guys. I feel the fight was pretty cool. Baby shifting his body all around.
Yeah.
The funny pawn kick to make him bounce around the room was like, that's goofy.
It felt so like you almost feel bad for Baby.
Right? I put a note here. Why do they all look so evil and happy that they're about to kill him?
Yeah. And Trunks is doing whatever his equivalent of Big Bang Attack is, and
yeah.
He's always doing the one-handed blast. It's like his thing.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Baby does an explosion to escape, cutting Trunks' arm, and then Baby is like, "Oh, I'm getting in there. That's my thing."
Yeah.
And
Goku does the Kamehameha on the wrong side in this episode.
Whoa, really?
This way?
He did it on his left side, which is not
weird.
It's not unheard of. It has been done before. But a Kamehameha is 99% of the time fired from the right side, forward with the right hand on top.
Okay.
And he does this from the left side with the left hand on top.
Do you think that was intentional, or if that was just like we were putting it together and oops, we got to flip the animation?
Someone hit the horizontal button.
Well, so like I said, it's not absolute, because I do believe there are a couple times where Gohan actually in the manga even does it left hand over right. But yeah, it's just to all you artists out there, the Scouter is on the left eye, and the Kamehameha is on the right side.
Oh wow! Okay, you can tell.
Just opposites attract.
That's a good way to remember it.
Yeah,
it's a good way.
It was also yellow in this, which is also not unheard of, but it's just like
Gohan does a yellow one in the blue arc.
Yeah. What's the choice in making it blue and making it yellow? When did they decide that? It's just so arbitrary.
We got a podcast about that.
There we go.
Okay.
Trunks now is Baby's plaything, beating up Goku, but Trunks, he ain't all gone.
Nice way to put it, yeah.
Right. And then just powers up to Super Saiyan, and that just kicks him out. He's like, oh, nope, it's too hot in the pool. I got to get out.
The most undeserved I am Trunks moment in history. Why did he yell that out? It sounds so stupid. I am Trunks. Okay, there's no like build up to it. I was hoping like after watching the few next episodes, if Baby had like actually outspokenly like I hate Vegeta, King Vegeta, I hate your father, blah 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 blah, like Broly does in Super or in the old Broly, but like it could have been like I am Vegeta's son, and then like then he like charges up and gets rid of Baby out of his body. That would have been a better yell.
I mean, I feel it's just because like no, I'm not Baby, I'm Trunks. Like I am who I am, not like
I hated it. Even if he said like I'm a Saiyan, that also would have been undeserved. I felt, but nothing.
That's because it's not about that. It's just about that he's Trunks. He's not Baby. So it's like
I think it comes down to the GT writers not really being sure of how to handle Trunks. Because we've talked before. Yeah. I've said, oh, this is proper Trunks characterization. This is not. This is. This isn't. This is. And it's like they don't know. Is he Bulma? Is he future Trunks? Is he tricky Boo arc Trunks? And it's like they can't balance out which version he is.
They can't.
And they still don't know. They just yell out, "I'm Trunks." So
yeah.
Taioken and Baby is out of there. Goes and infects some woman to get on a plane to another planet. Then just kills everybody else on board as he's wont to do.
So I didn't keep track, but does his power work like Cell does, where he just like absorbs power through each person?
We have to assume, because they never say it.
Just get older quicker. Is that because he's a teenager by the time he gets on Earth or whatever?
Yeah, my assumption is that every time he takes someone over and then moves to the next host, that's how he is absorbing
Evolving.
their energy
He's
and evolving.
getting stronger
Yeah.
and getting. Oh, gotcha. The animation looked a lot better once he absorbed or went into Trunks. Didn't it switch look like to you, or did Trunks just look cool for a change because he looked angry or something?
Sheeta was in this episode, so it might have been that.
Might have been just that ending part. Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah.
For the
Overall,
10
I think.
seconds.
Yeah. Overall, I think very fun episode. Getting into the mystery of Baby, his plans,
Yeah.
seeing him be so sneaky. It's a neat villain style to have this guy who's not strong, and if he gets into a one-on-one fight and he's not prepared, he's getting wrecked. So
Right. Just
It's fun.
fake dies a lot, so that's
Yeah.
a great escape
But it
technique.
was all according to plan. So.
it's all
Right,
according to
right.
plan. I just think it's a fun dynamic and different from everything we've had in
Yeah.
Dragon Ball prior. It's exciting.
Yeah, agreed.
It's right up there with Cell before he's strong enough to take everybody on. It's like, oh, I can beat
Yeah.
Piccolo. Oh, fuck, I can't beat Piccolo. I have
Yeah.
to get out of there. So, it's good stuff. There was something else I was going to say here in regards to everything. Oh, Ken, you had brought it before. The math doesn't work out. I am also just like kind of like didn't really explain. Just I'm going from person to person, and that will take me to you. Like that. Does it?
Yeah, where does he figure out that they're from Earth exactly? I mean, I guess remember we have all that Giru data.
Fair.
That was sent, so
Perhaps.
Could
well,
be.
no, he absorbs memories from whenever he absorbs hosts.
oh,
maybe
so
when
that's
when he was in Trunks.
that's true.
Yeah. Well,
point.
later on, he says he couldn't take any of Trunks' memories, but now he's
Oh,
strong
you're
enough
right.
to
I
take
think that was the
Goten's.
verbiage.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that was it.
So then I'm just gonna assume it was Giru data.
Yeah, I think that works. They're all
And maybe
kind of like a
maybe
hive
the-
mind anyway.
The nurse he was in, our heroes talked to the nurse and told them where they're from. And when
Yeah,
he went to the
didn't
nurse.
Trunks say something like we don't have any of this kind of medical advancement on Earth
Yep.
or something like
Yeah,
that?
to the doctor. Yep, and he was over the doctor. So maybe.
It's true. It all kind of works out. I like that.
Well, when it does, it does. When it doesn't,
does, it
it's
does.
GT moment.
I like it. I like when it happens. Ken, why don't you tell us about episode 25?
Well, before we do that, guys, the world of anime. All right.
Oh, it's back.
and
Ooh,
this
it's
is a
time.
juicy one. Okay,
Oh,
so
baby.
we've got a huge gap in
gotta
these
get my-
episodes here.
my
Yeah,
bib.
we do.
Episode 24 aired September 4th, 1996. Episode 25 aired October 16th, 1996.
Whoa, it's like 6 weeks.
Yeah, that is a big jump in between episodes. So I don't know what was going on at the time. As I've been plotting out the meanwhile sections, I've done it through I think the whole of the series. There's a few points where this series will be like, screw it, we're taking a month off. And I'm just like, oh, weird. It's like in my head, when I think back on these series, they just ran every week because that's how we would have experienced it,
Well,
like
right.
regularly.
You don't have data on what was something playing instead of it, like because I'm sure GT wasn't doing so hot that they didn't mind just like pushing the slot a weeks to broadcast another anime.
I'm sure someone out there can do a great video essay that should have been a website featured article instead that I could just scroll through.
I'll
Someone
watch
will
that.
do that. Someone will pull the data, and
I'll
it
sit
might
through
be
3
you,
hours of that.
viewer, listener.
You could be the
be
one.
You could do it. I'd watch it. I'd read it.
I'll thumbs
I
it up.
prefer to read it, but I'd watch it.
I prefer
All
to
right.
watch.
So in between these two episodes airing, we've got Yu-Gi-Oh! Chapter 1 comes
Whoa.
out. Now, of course, that is a manga.
Damn.
The legend begins.
September 17th, 1996, Yu-Gi-Oh! Starts. September 20th, 1996, Outlaw Star Chapter 1 starts.
Whoa.
Now, both of these two manga, the anime, would begin in 1998, so post-GT. But the beginnings, the manga here, has begun.
Nice.
Now, if you are a historian, you might be familiar with some of this date range here. And that's because this is when Dragon Ball Z started airing in the US.
Oh.
Around
us
the
plebs got
weekend of September 14th, 1996. So we have now crossed over into territory. While GT was still contemporary, Dragon Ball Z has started in the US.
Wow. Can you imagine? Dang. Back before internet too, so it's just like nothing to coincide with it. It's just here. This is a new show in America.
I can hear Mike yelling right now. Doug, we had internet back then.
We did.
I was using it.
There was no internet back then.
All right,
No.
thanks, Mike. I can hear Mike yelling at the podcast as he's listening to it. So Just wanted to make sure he got his say there. So the dates on when exactly Dragon Ball Z started are a little muddy, and it depends on your territory. Stuff this isn't like today where a release date is a release date is a release date. Things were just a little bit like, hey, we got something to put in that time slot, throw it in, put the tape in the box and start it. There is a great, fantastic Kanzenshu feature on this. I'm going to put it in the YouTube description below. Randy, I'll send you the link as well so you can put it in the Spotify description. So definitely look into that because it is fascinating. So that is what was going on meanwhile in the world of anime. So,
hey, did you guys catch Z when it first aired? I think it took me a few years to.
Oh God, no! I was 99.
I was 98 when it got to Toonami. I was not watching it syndicated runs before.
Now, I did see Gohan's ear in an episode, which might have been in 98 or before. And I said, that ear is grossly over detailed. Gross. And I changed the channel.
You never watched Ren and Stimpy before that? Because that stuff can get grossly over detailed.
I don't think I was allowed to watch Ren and Stimpy.
That's
TBQH.
Well, that's wonderful to hear about what was going on around then. I love that.
Thanks for that.
I love getting context.
Yeah. Now, speaking of context.
Yeah.
That's a nonsensical segue. Episode 25. This is terrible. Baby appears on Earth. The Earth is enjoying a moment of peace and calm before it's shattered by a strange man rampaging in the city. Goten, of all people, takes time off from his date with Palace, his girlfriend, to see what all the fuss is about, and ends up fighting against a man who has been possessed by Baby. Also, Mr. Satan is there, and it's great. All the while in space, Goku and company track down their 5th Dragon Ball. Now, something that sticks out in this description, Randy, that you so expertly crafted here, is that we get both stories. And it's like, I watched this and I was like, this is kind of like, we should have been checking in on Earth.
Yeah.
Like not maybe not every episode, but
every other,
in between Omega and wherever we went next, or in between Lude and something else, we should have been checking back and then like developing out Goten and Palace a little bit, showing more of Vegeta with his mustache, because we only get Vegeta with the mustache in one episode before this one, that they might as well just have like pretended it never happened.
Basically. But I feel like, I don't know, from a storytelling standpoint, I don't think it would make sense to check up on them unless it advanced the plot. Like, I feel like the pacing was really, really good with these just 3 next episodes. I thought this was like a 5 or 6 episode long run until we got to where we ended up. But it was just 3 episodes, and I think the pacing was great. To delve them out a little more without advancing the plot, it wouldn't have made sense.
There was some stuff going back that was like, this really could have been, instead of 3, could have been 2, and we could have spent one of those back on Earth, or
No, but what would they be doing on Earth? It's just them doing crazy hijinks, like filler stuff.
Palace? What's
doesn't
her
matter.
thing?
We find out she's just a rich girl who's never eaten ice cream before.
Well, I mean that's up to the GT writing staff that could have done this, and so that's up to them
learn more
to have figured it out.
But I agree. I really wish we would have gotten more of on Earth. Like as soon as we got to Earth and started hearing Goten the Playboy speak, I was in, man. I was in, baby. I wanted to hear that all day.
I like that Vegeta is so proud that his mustache is gone. It's like, because doesn't he walk in and he's like, hey, notice anything different?
Hey, Goten.
Like, thinking all the way back to when he and Nappa first arrived, like, what a totally different person this guy has become. Well, I love it.
That's also great. I think the moment that I didn't catch when I first watched it was when Bulma mentions, you look great without the mustache. And Vegeta is vulnerable and was like, he doesn't say thanks, but he says like, really? Or something like that. He doesn't. If he knew Chi-Chi was there, he would have been like, whatever, shut up. But the vulnerability of him just being like, really? Or thank you? And then realizing Chi-Chi was there, he got really embarrassed. And I feel like that's great character development, that he does have that vulnerability at home when it's just his wife.
The comedic timing of them letting the camera slowly reveal that Chi-Chi was there was just like one of those things. I look at that and I'm like, I'm not convinced Super would ever be able to do a scene like this.
Yes, but a lot of the comedy in GT still disappoints really hard. Like them just depending on Goku being scared of needles as the entire joke for the entire episode.
I think that things get even funnier when Satan shows up. My note just says, "Oh shit, Satan," because I forgot
Satan.
that this dude, is off doing his thing, and then shows up when stuff gets bad. Why is it when somebody brings up Saiyans? I can't remember who he's talking to. It might have just been Baby. And he's like, "Oh, you mean those blonde delinquent punks?" And I'm like, "You know these people? They're your family."
Well,
Why?
from when Goten shows up and is like, "How do you know about Saiyans?" It made me think like, "Oh, are they kind of trying to keep a secret that Saiyans exist, like that they are Saiyans?" So then maybe Satan saying that was also because there's an audience around him. So it's like, "Oh, you mean those blonde delinquents?" It's that him helping cover up
that was my read.
They don't
on that.
exist.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Because, that would make sense because I was like, that seems like such a weird thing for him to say otherwise. So that makes a lot more sense. Thank you for that.
We do get some timeline context in this episode. Chi-Chi reveals that it's been 9 months since they had started searching for the Dragon Balls. But then she says, well, they've got another 4 months.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, hold on. How many months are in a year? Let me check my calendar. Oh, this is a 13-month calendar. What the hell?
In a Dragon Ball year.
Yeah.
I was going to say, well, he was made by the child of Katots. Maybe it's by Namek years. But I'm like, nope, Namek years are way shorter.
Yeah.
We know this.
If it was 9 months till the world was going to end, I'd be panicking a little more than they are. To be like, without any
4
word
months
of
till
Goku.
it ends.
Right. Well, I mean, it's been 9 months and still no word from the gang. I'd be like a lot more
Sure.
worried than they are.
This
Not
is,
only for their family, but for the Earth.
This is Bra's first speaking role in GT, correct?
Oh, is it? I guess.
It must be. And it's Hiro Mitsuru playing her, right?
Yeah.
Sounded
It
familiar,
definitely sounds just like
Yeah.
her, yeah.
I think she has a
like
couple
that.
lines in Z, but maybe
I don't like
Yes. As very, very young, she like yells, Pan, go, or whatever, like cheering on Pan on stage. But then in GT, the first episode, I think they're just like, they just point to her like, yeah, Bra's over there with her father. And then they just cut to her and that's it.
Randy, what don't you like?
I have no reason, but I'm like, I don't like that Bra is also voiced by her mother because I'm like, Yuko Minaguchi plays Videl, also plays Pan, but I'm okay with that because I don't know.
Yeah.
I just like Yuko Minaguchi's voice.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Goku, Gohan, and Goten were all voiced by the same person?
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I have no reason to dislike that because I like that.
Oh, that's what I wanted to bring up is that I love that we have Goten as the playboy. You're hearing Masako Nozawa playing like a teenager who's just like flirting with girls. Like, let's go on a date. Hey, come on, let's go out. Like it's so nice to hear that. We have Goku the country hick. We have Gohan the very studious and polite, and then we have the playboy. It's so nice to hear the range Masako Nozawa can play with all these three characters.
I love the characterization that Goten receives from the people who wrote movie 11, and that must have been Koyama, and then this string of episodes, because they give Goten something. Goten is pretty much a nothing character
just
in the original series.
Yeah.
And then movie 11 kind of gives him this something to care about, and when he's and then he figures out the water, and it makes Goten more interesting. And then in this show, and it just jumps off of the end of Z where Goten and Trunks didn't want to fight and didn't want to train, and then Goten's would rather be doing anything else, and so it's just feels fun.
Makes him more unique.
Yeah, makes him unique, perfect. It gives him, there's an angle to him, and then even when stuff gets serious, you're like, oh, okay, it's go time, time.
It's Goten time.
It's Goten time. I don't know what else really to say about this episode other than I really liked it. Back on Earth, seeing what everybody is up to. Baby, totally unknown to them, is here to fuck shit up, and I don't know. It's exciting. It's a good dynamic.
I think this is the first time in the series that they ever bring up the naming pun of Saiyans, where he asked me about Saya, so I pointed him to a vegetable stand or whatever.
Oh.
It's because not until Battle of Gods, I think, with Beerus does it ever do they actually say it in the series proper or whatever. That's kind of cool.
I do. Speaking of Goten, real quick, what a pervert.
Yeah, misogynistic much. Yeah.
He talks about, what is the phrase he uses for Palace, an ultra young gal or something, which I guess that's probably like an over literalization. But if I had to imagine what it might mean, is that she's just like closeted, but no, that's not the right word. Like not sheltered.
Well, sheltered. Yeah. Well, it's the whole like I watched this like YouTube video where it kind of delved into like cinema and how the trope of born hot yesterday is something that's really old in the olden days, where like this super hot girl like in her mid-20s was just created, so she knows nothing about the world, and you as the man get to show her everything, and then she loves you. I get that kind of icky feeling with that.
Yeah, but
and Palace.
Yeah, and then the way she's like eating the ice cream, and then she's about to eat it, and then there's an explosion, and Goten's like, no, let's watch you eat the ice cream.
It could be read that way, because I expected to see it that way. I'm like, because that's how I remember it being. It's like, this is just a nasty way for them to show her like licking something, but then you kind of listen to the way Goten says it. He's just like kind of admiring, like, she's so cute that she doesn't know how to do this. It's less intent of malice, but it still does come off as very creepy.
I don't know. I didn't get that reading, and I'm a grade A pervert, and I don't get that reading at all. I was just like, it's cute. These two out on the town getting some ice cream.
But there's such a contrast between the way Goten acts with her and then the way Mr. Satan acts with her. And Mr. Satan is like much more of a fatherly way, and then but then also just in gag, like he's cowering behind her kind of stuff. There's none of that angle with Mr. Satan. Mr. Satan is pure and good, and nothing. Right. He could do nothing wrong.
He's like hugging onto her because he was like scared, and then Goten comes up after being baby absorbed or whatever, and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, like your girl or whatever."
Yeah, and like you could easily see them having Mr. Satan like huddled her and then pat or whatever. So it's like when the show wants to move, right? But when the show wants to present stuff in a perverted nature, it does so very explicitly. And so to see that like done with Goten, I'm like
And this I know I'm jumping ahead of like an episode or two, but like when the pat stuff happens and before the series, it would be like a funny moment. In this one, her skirt kind of blows up in the middle of a battle, and it just seems so no reason to it. It is just like, there's to check out this hot girl, and like her skirt's almost going.
But you don't even see anything.
You don't, but it's the intent is definitely there to be like, check out this hot babe that we drew. I don't know. I mean, yes, Palace did awaken something in me when I first saw her back in the day. I was like, this is a beautiful girl, but
ultra young even,
just like me.
But it just, that without any purpose, it just seems so icky now.
It's true.
We finally get Baby's costume, the cool one.
Oh, like teenager.
He's such a sick design. I love it.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's a cool onesie, that's for sure. It's got like a jacket thing, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Is there anything else before we jump into 26?
No.
Not for
me.
Great. Well, then episode 26. Gohan and Goten, the worst brotherly quarrel?
Terrible.
Goten squares off against Baby, but the strange Neo-Machine mutant is too clever and manages to infect the Saiyan. Meanwhile, Goku, Trunks, and Pan secure the 6th Dragon Ball. Back on Earth, Goten infiltrates Capsule Corp and lures Gohan out to a fight to try and move to a stronger host body. After a long battle, Baby succeeds, and now Gohan has succumbed. Who will be Baby's next target?
I don't know if you guys noticed this. So I started watching the intro and recap every episode because I wanted to see what episode they changed the intro on.
About time.
And this episode had like the shortest episode recap ever. So I knew it was going to be hype. I knew we were in for something good with this one.
For a good long episode, yeah.
Man, and it was good stuff. Goten squaring up to fight Baby, but then gets a phone call from Palace and is just casually chatting with her while Baby's like charging at him. Tosses the phone up and then, does the whole thing before
he catches it behind his back.
Behind his back.
So cool.
Oh, guys, you made him too cool.
I think what I love about this too is that I've only watched this English dub before, so Goten's voice was just some guy. Hearing all this coming out of Masako Nozawa just makes it so much better.
Yeah, I know.
So much cooler.
I have never cared about this version of Goten ever.
Never.
Because why would you? But watching this, like with Nozawa, like you're saying, Doug, it's like, all right, Figuarts twin. I want this Goten. I want it now.
Oh, yes.
I'm about this guy.
With his cell phone and everything,
fun,
please.
Yeah.
I could better see some fan art sometime soon, Ken. Get on it.
How do you guys feel about Baby's narration?
His self-narration?
He's
like,
doing a lot of self-narration, yeah.
I guess exposition like needed. How else would they?
Yeah. I like it.
Because he doesn't have another person with him to be like, here's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I like it because this is the first, like, he has an era of suaveness to him, or he's just like really, he's compelling. He's a compelling villain. And we barely spend any time with him, but he's just like, he keeps coming back. So, you know, like, oh, this is the guy that sent him. This is the next Frieza level dude, right? And so to get to be in his head, which we haven't ever really had before.
For a villain, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we had some with Vegeta and the Saiyan arc, definitely on Namek, but here, we get inside his head and he's like, and the Saya power, we're coming for it. Yeah. I want
and
to
the
see
voice helps a lot.
Like Saya power.
That it's not the annoying voice of the English dub that they chose for him. It's just, this is a lot more suave and you want to hear him talk more.
So Baby has gotten stronger and can infect Goten even while Super Saiyan. He doesn't get overwhelmed and thrown out, which I think is pretty cool because, like, he took over, that plane of people, and then he's been here on Earth. So it's like, okay.
I don't like how he just goes through the Kamehameha to get into Goten. Like, are you saying that
rides it for a bit and then just
he rides inside of it, inside the entire thing, and goes all the way?
He goes off to the side.
Yeah,
he just bloop.
I thought that at first too, but then he was pulling Goku in the Tournament of Power.
Are you okay? Yeah. If you're sure, it looks like he goes just straight through it, down the middle.
Oh no, that would be wild.
It was what I thought too at first, but then as it continues, it goes around it.
Gotcha.
So now Goten is a dick and is pushing.
Well, Palace is still loving it.
Yeah, she's like, oh, he's a bad boy. I love that.
Now I was like, oh my god.
I felt so bad for Mr. Satan.
Right? Well, he notices. He's pretty observant and notices like something about him has changed, which I like. I like
that. Well, before it was like Goten, when he sees Mr. Satan in his getup, he's like, whoa, I haven't seen you in a while, and I get up. This brings so nostalgic. I'm like, whoa, have they not seen each other like in a long time? That kind of thing. And this is their first meeting in a while. I think
maybe it's like the 28th Budokai, probably.
Who knows? Maybe, possibly.
I got the.
Well, no, he's got a granddaughter, so.
I got the feeling that Goten spends most of his time out near Mount Paus.
I figured he's in West City, out dating. That's why.
Right.
No, he
came with Chi-Chi.
He came with Chi-Chi. She was surprised that Goten came along with him to the city, but then finds out he just came to me to be on a date with a girl.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're having a real easy time getting, relatively easy. Well, they're having a simpler time getting these Dragon Balls now.
They are.
Yeah.
Well, they had said, like, we don't have a lot of time. We just got to keep our heads down and go get these things. So I feel like maybe there are horrible crises that are happening on these planets. And they're like, sorry, can't help
see ya. The part that I didn't like is that Goku almost straight up kills this giant dinosaur for no
horrifying.
Reason.
I was like, this is so evil, more evil than when they were gonna kill Baby.
For those that didn't watch are not watching, they go up to this big dinosaur. Oh, the Dragon Ball's inside the dinosaur.
Which how do they know it's surrounded by organic matter?
So whatever. Goku goes in the mouth of the dinosaur, and
this is skipping over the whole thing where they meet this civilization and they have this tech that can detect the Dragon Ball inside, and then there's this huge exposition. It takes like 3 episodes,
right?
In which they talk about like
they can tell the data. That's inside
if this dinosaur got bigger over decades, right, and all you have to do is poke a hole in its stomach, and it will survive. Don't worry, it will.
They already knew that ahead of time.
Yeah, and then it will set it back down to its size, and they can put it back in its little bottle.
Goku goes inside the dinosaur, starts poking around inside the body. The dinosaur the entire time from the start is looking like he's crying already. He's just he's just living life.
And that's
Goku
more backstory.
Busts through the middle of him and just pops out, and the dinosaur flies away like deflating, still sad and crying, and then shows up again as a 3-inch little dino.
I don't know about you guys.
Uh-huh.
You at?
No, go ahead, please. I have a whole thing.
I don't know about you guys, but if something erupted out of the stomach where my food is digested, where there is acid, and it came out of my skin, if I went to the doctor and they're like, yeah, I'm just going to put a Band-Aid on it. That's good. You're fine. Go enjoy life. Like that's not how I'd be dead.
This is all explained in the episodes that
that Ken was saying. Yeah, the three episodes. But
for us,
for comedic purposes, this could have worked, but there was no comedic sting or anything. The funny thing is just he's tiny now. His life sucks. Oh well, let's go on. How they could have fixed it, and I figured this out after watching this a few moments ago. Is that they could have introduced the dinosaur. This wouldn't have taken long. Introduce the dinosaur, humongous, chasing a tiny little dinosaur girl that is not interested because he's too big. And then Goku does the thing, kills him. The dinosaur's tiny now, same size, sad still, but then the girl actually likes him now. So then they're both happy now.
See, girls like Little D.
They do. They love it. They're just like mine. For context, I'm showing. You should watch the episode to find out what I'm showing.
In case you didn't listen to the first 10 minutes of the episode.
Can you add in a zipper sound effect when I say that?
Thank you, Doug, for that very heteronormative story reason of how that could have worked.
It goes along with Dragon Ball GT. It is that
it's 1996
it's very
Japan,
simple.
That's
Randy.
true.
Yeah, girl can solve the problem of me being sad. That's what it is.
We can't go back in time and fix the socioeconomic state of Japan.
That's true. So six down, 1 to go. And
First Piccolo sighting.
third, yeah.
Yeah.
He's here. And
That's all we have to say about it. He's there.
This took us 26 episodes to get to Piccolo. He's there, episode 1, Dragon Ball Z. So Dragon Ball Z is the best series. And then it's like 100 episodes in Dragon Ball. So really, in terms of like series quality, if we base it on how quickly we get to Piccolo, Dragon Ball Z,
right.
GT.
Careful.
Dragon
This
Ball.
is cancelable.
Well, I'm just saying, if we look at the Piccolo quotient, Randy, that's really all that matters.
I think this really is GT's downfall. It's just more proof that it sucks that they split up the entire cast to just these 3 characters. Because as soon as we get Piccolo, I'm like, oh my god, oh yeah, this character exists. We shouldn't ever feel that way about our main lovable characters like Piccolo.
Yeah. We could have spent the Earth time showing like Piccolo investigating the ultimate Dragon Balls being made or something.
Yeah.
It's just something like that. And there's a mystery that will tie back in once Baby gets to Earth and then...
Yeah. Is our Piccolo attached to these Black Star Dragon Balls as well? Could there have been a moment where like, hey, I don't think Goku and them are gonna make it back in time. You gotta just kill me. That's kind of dark, but like if he dies, would those Black Star Dragon Balls also vanish? You know what I'm saying?
Like I think we have to wait until later to figure some stuff out.
Future stuff.
Oh, am I getting ahead of myself? For those listening to the audio, Randy and Ken both scratched their chin.
I don't remember everything from this series, but there are certain things I do. So keep a lid on that.
But I feel like maybe what if Piccolo went with them to space instead of Trunks or something like that? That would have been a more interesting dynamic. And
what if all 30 main characters went into space?
No, just because Piccolo has some sense of like responsibility for what's happening.
What if Poir was there instead of Trunks? You know,
Giru and Poir battle.
When Goten goes to Capsule Corp, there are family photos around the house, including one that's just Vegeta with his arms crossed, smiling into the camera. And I had to think, like,
20 years ago.
What was that moment when they took that photo? I was like, a Vegeta arms crossed. Like, who?
He was being a sourpuss in the corner, and then somebody made a joke at Goku's expense, and he laughed.
I want to imagine the actual pictures like a huge like group setting, and they just caught him in the background and they just cropped it of Vegeta just like that.
They typed in AI Vegeta, but he's happy. But every image they've ever fed in there, he's always got his arms crossed. So it's the only thing they can work with.
This episode has like so many great little moments.
God,
just to think about, but especially when baby Goten is getting chewed out by Chi-Chi, and Goten's like, something tells me she can't be strong, but there must be some hidden power. I should play it cool for now.
This body's very intimidated by this woman. So I gotta watch it.
Yeah,
it's so
he doesn't understand like overbearing mothers and stuff. He just knows there's this feeling of unease.
It's so great because I have my little picture like Psycho pictures just on my desk right here, and I have pictures of like some Dragon Ball Z stuff. So I had a picture of Chi-Chi Gohan and Goten back like around post-Cell games when Goten's still a baby. So seeing that and then seeing the Chi-Chi now and GT like all in the same room together, it's like, oh man, what a beautiful like family this once was and what it is now. But it was great.
Chi-Chi seems strangely okay with the whole brotherly quarrel thing.
Yeah,
it must happen often, even though like Gohan doesn't live there.
I was thinking that too. Like it's implied that it happens often, but like I don't see a world where that does happen with Goten and Gohan.
Oh, one thing that speaking of Gohan even being here to begin with, is that like, they thought of how to get Gohan here by having Mr. Satan be there to call them.
To call Videl, like, hey,
so it wasn't just like,
here, so I'm here.
Gohan's here. It was like, oh no, Mr. Satan witnessed this. Mr. Satan's concerned, fatherly hero who can do no wrong.
Exactly.
Good job, Toei.
Calls people to come check up on him. Yeah, it was like understanding.
Remarkable.
They have already thrown half the chess pieces off the board. So now with what they have left, they're like, okay, now we can play a sensible game of chess.
So this fight, what do you guys think about this fight?
I like the chasm. Like, it's interesting.
Yeah.
That it's all happening in that big crack in the ground.
I don't know if it's just because I saw a lot of it during AMVs, but it's very memorable. This and the fight following are very memorable, like locations and just like attacks. Like him, like a big purple ball in the chasm, and then Baby vanishing up into the sky and grabbing Gohan from down and like pushing him down into it. It looks so cool. It looks so cool. I love it. Part
of this fight is in the Step into the Grand Tour intro.
Maybe that's what I see a lot of it. That's why
that
different kind of AMV
promos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's top tier AMV material if you're dipping into GT stuff there.
I do like how in said like headlock down to the ground, Baby is like internally thinking like, oh, did he figure out that is he not going Super Saiyan because he figured out that that's how I can go through his body? And then it cuts to Gohan, who's like, I don't want to hurt Goten's body, so I'm not going to turn Super Saiyan. I don't want to hurt him. So it's nice that there's not, I figured it out. No, it's not. It's just like they have different motivations.
Yeah, I didn't understand why Baby needs them to be at the height of their Saya power before he can take them over.
It's just the rule.
Also comes into play in the next one.
Yeah. Did he say that their power is more? I don't even know the wordage, but it's like weaker when they're expelling it, or their skin is. I don't know.
Maybe it's something like when Ginyu and Goku changed bodies, and Ginyu couldn't tap into Goku's power, so maybe he needs to wait until they've already tapped into it. So
otherwise,
he
can't access that high.
Because there is a thing of like, you got my body, but you don't know how to use it. So maybe it's that. Dude, we should just go to the Dragon Room and continue GT. We've got we got it.
We got it, man. We got it.
Screw Tooper. Let's just redo
Dragon
GT.
No. GT. I'm not touching GT.
No. Let's just redo it, but do it better. I'm not saying there's the very real possibility they redo GT and they make it worse, because that is obviously a thing that can happen and probably would. But just saying, in this instance, it's all better. I didn't like when their shirts are off and they both transform. Impossible to tell who each other are, because their hair shapes are very similar from straight on. They're both now just wearing slacks and no shirt. I'm like, who is who anymore? I can't tell. Bad job, character designers.
Yeah, we have been slowly catching up to Dragon Ball Dissection of them covering these episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And yeah,
I'm sorry, I have not been watching them.
Mr. Fusion was tweeting about that.
I haven't watching. Yeah, the tweet that Ken's talking about. He did the exact same. He put both pictures of Goten and Gohan side by side and was like, "Who was who?" And I bet you'll be wrong. And yeah, most people were wrong, and understandably so, because they look exactly the same.
Yeah, this is a Studio Carpenter episode who we've talked about before as being like serviceable, but not really who you would want on any given episode.
They're stumpy. I feel like they're stumpy. Yeah. Like all of their limbs are real short and thick.
Yeah.
Piccolo's here. Oh, Piccolo's dead. Never mind.
Yeah. So Piccolo doesn't just die, he End of Ava dies.
I don't want religion in my anime.
Yeah.
Arms out,
and then the chasm is also a cross.
Yeah, he T-poses to death. Is what happens.
Yeah.
Overall, really rad episode. Comedy, A+, action. I mean, other than the fact this really comes into play, at least in the next episode, I don't think anybody's throwing punches. It's all just key blasts, and you gotta vary it up, please, for me. But the vibes of this episode, though, I think okay, we had talked before, when does this become the GT that we know? And I'm like, this one is full force. I think is definitely.
They have stepped into the Grand Tour, my friends.
They've dove in.
Took a few steps, yeah.
I liked it. Are we ready to jump into episode 27?
Yes.
Fellas?
Ambition achieved. Vegeta is taken over.
Who could have guessed it?
Goten seems to have survived the ordeal and is recovering back at Capsule Corp, while Gohan, controlled by Baby, heads off to take on Vegeta. Meeting the Prince of Saiyans on a dark highway, near some windmills, Gohan faces off against Vegeta in a bombastic brawl. Goten has recovered and shows up to aid Vegeta, or so he says. Goten is still possessed, and the two brothers manage to bring Vegeta to the very edge before Baby sneakily infects the stronger Saiyan. Baby reveals who he is, where he came from, and what his plan is. While the Earth is in serious trouble, we learn that Goku, Pan, and Trunks have found the 7th and final Dragon Ball and can return home, not knowing what awaits them there. Fellas.
Yeah.
Guys.
What an episode.
Holy
episode.
shit. So good. Also, the OP is updated.
Yep.
With too much spoilers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We
Oh,
see
really?
adult
I skipped
baby.
right through it.
Adult baby.
Super Saiyan 4. Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm wondering, is this how it was in the original broadcast, or is this how home releases were treated? Because I know sometimes things change. I think, at least in Z and the Dragon boxes, they swapped around when the next episode preview happens and the ending theme plays. So it's I don't know.
Who
I'd be
knows?
curious.
Yeah.
I'd be curious. I
Did
don't
they
know.
spoil it for the whole world or not? Yeah.
Which wouldn't be out of this world. Toei did it with Sailor Moon season 1 before the reveal that Usagi is the Moon Princess. The opening changes to new animation before that, and it's oh, here's her transformation.
Yeah.
Cool, good job, guys.
I remember they did that in for Naruto, where I read the manga, I knew what was coming up, so I told a friend, "Hey, don't watch the intro because it spoils stuff." He watched it anyway, and he assumed in the intro when they were flying and doing ninjutsu hands that was a spoiler. I'm like, no, they don't ever fly. But something else in that intro was a spoiler.
They do fly now.
They fly now. They
Yeah.
fly now.
Vegeta is driving Bra along after lots of shopping, and he has more shaving cream. Did the
Tory
dude
bot.
use a whole can for just his mustache before?
Thick
He used a
mustache.
sample.
I think nobody taught him how to shave because his
No,
dad
nobody
was
would.
dead. And he's not going to ask Dr. Briefs. Excuse me, sir.
So, in theory, if he has just the mustache, that means he's shaving everything else.
Right. Well, I suppose, yeah.
Right.
Because
Super's
in
anything to go
Super,
off of.
yeah, Super, he's got a full dad beard, and Randy was.
I'm
into
sure
it.
it's just he's just getting prepared and for future shavings and just to show that Bra.
Yeah. But it's
Man.
Tory bot shaving cream.
That's great.
Yeah.
Guys got to get paid somehow.
I'll buy it.
I love the relationship that is expressed here between Bra and Vegeta.
That he's overprotective dad.
He is, but he's also God, that was some annoying shopping.
Yeah, but I do it
Yeah.
because I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Bra is super proud of her dad, and
Yeah.
my dad's gonna mess you guys up.
The long, they fall into the sea and they drive past, and she is just talking for
Still talking.
so long.
Yeah.
of what's happening?
They drove on.
It's miles ago. Goten's back at Capsule Corp and isn't feeling great. So we are led to believe, since now he has taken over Gohan, that Goten is free. Right?
That baby is gone from his body. Yeah.
And Baby is itching to fight Vegeta when he arrives, and he's blowing off Videl and such. There was a thing in my brain that went off when he was explaining, okay, I'm going to take over Goten, and then the next strongest is Gohan, because then I can get to Vegeta at the end. And I'm like, well, at the end of Z, Gohan's the strongest. But then, there's been so many times we've done the story of, well, Gohan got weaker because he hasn't been training. And I had to remind myself, that's actually a good explanation of why he's turning Super Saiyan, even though there are multiple points where they draw him with his black hair, but the closed-lined eyes to be like, oh, he's using his ultimate unlocked form.
So
whatever.
And that's why for so long, really until Super, it was always kind of like, well, is it a transformation or is it a new permanent state? And I think the way that it was implied was that it was just his new normal in the original series, and in it's a little different in movie 13, yeah, but I think the original series and GT do imply that like no ultimate is just his base state now.
Yeah, because when you see him at end of Z, like with books and everything in the calm state after like 5 or so years, he's still like that.
So like he can go Super Saiyan on top of it, as we see here in GT, but that's his base state. Now, of course, we now know differently. It's not the case, but
right.
Just go with it.
It could be a whole sense, like Ken was saying before, where Ginyu didn't know how to use the body. So, but Vegeta's base is just that much stronger already. He doesn't need to know how to use it, as opposed to Gohan.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like he hit Trunks, and Trunks just pushed him out of his body, and so then Baby had to go absorb a bunch of people before he could do Goten. And then he needed to do Goten before he could do Gohan, and needed to do Gohan before he could get to Vegeta.
Well, his plan wasn't to do that. He was just going to go straight to Vegeta, but it just kind of worked out conveniently where Goten was there. Oh, let me grab him. The Gohan's there. Oh, let me grab him. Oh, and now I can go for Vegeta. So
yeah,
just worked out that way.
We cut to Goku, Pan, and Trunks going through space, and they're all wearing cute winter wear, except for Goku, who's feeling very cold. Even Giru's wearing a winter jacket, and I know this is asking for logic in GT, but they're going to an icy planet. They're still in space, which, yes, I know is also very cold. But so why is it so cold in the ship right now when it hasn't been in the space before? I don't.
They're getting closer to the planet, and the AC's broken on their ship. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, you know how when it's like 115, well, you guys wouldn't know, but when it's 115 outside, you know, your AC has to work that much harder, and sometimes it can't always pull it down to the temperature you want. So if you're going out to like Pluto depths far away from the sun, Pluto's a planet, by the way, guys, I'll die on that hill. If you're going out towards Pluto, and then your heating system has to work that much harder to keep the inside of your ship, you know, warm.
It just makes it seem like the planet itself is emitting such cold temperatures that it is affecting the space around it, which is wild to me. Just buck wild.
Yeah.
Other complaints. Gohan flying out to meet Vegeta. That animation is so jank. Why is he twitching and moving so much? It's so weird. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
It didn't stand out to me, no.
You gotta go back and watch that. He's just like constantly moving his arms and like, it's so weird. It's like they gave...
You could explain it's the baby in him. I don't know.
Well, it's just like they gave the D tier animator in the studio for the day. Like, you do this one, and he's like, "Okay, I got it."
It didn't even give it to the big D. It was the small D.
Again, the small D shows up.
Present.
Faces down Vegeta. The coolest thing, like on top of the windmill, and like looking down.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's cool. Vegeta.
The whole windmill area to have a fight in is good.
Vegeta just chucks Bra into the car.
That was awesome.
This is such a cool Vegeta. So long.
It's like Piccolo's cape, his bra.
But it's his daughter.
Yeah.
Which also drives me wild that just proves that GT, they were like, yeah, at the beginning, let's make Bra 16 or whatever. But then like last minute, no, let's make her 11 or whatever she is supposed to be right now. And then didn't change anything. So the fact that she can drive a car, it would have made sense if she was 16. These older men, it would have made sense, but now they're just pedophiles going for this 11-year-old. It just doesn't. Why didn't they just change it so that she would know how to fly? If she just knew Bugujutsu, it's like just Pan, just get out of here, go out of here. Like her, just make her fly away. Why drive away? It just, I don't know. It irks me.
In Superhero 2, Bra's going to get a character arc where she learns how to fly, and then we'll see that.
It's going to be good.
So some things about Vegeta.
Yeah.
How cool is he when he's like, "You're not Gohan"?
Oh
man. God.
This Vegeta's so good. I love it.
And then how annoying is Baby when he's like, "You don't remember? How the fuck am I supposed to remember? I'm just looking at a Gohan that doesn't seem like Gohan."
It's just, are you Ginyu again? Did that frog show up?
I put a note here because then we cut back to Goten and he's getting up out of his, sickness. And I don't remember everything in the series, and I just wrote, wait, Goten is fine? Like, I thought and then, oh, nope, I was thinking ahead. Yeah, he's actually not okay. And that's weird here since we've seen him move to Gohan. So why is Goten still acting weird? I like that. Some weird, cool, like, foreshadowing, playing with your expectations.
A good reveal if it wasn't, like, too obvious. Well, from hindsight, us knowing that already, but it would have been a good... I thought it would have been a better reveal had Goten showed up on the field, and instead of Vegeta being the same Vegeta from Z, he was a more mature one, and is like, Goten, get him from the other angle. Like he decides to team up with Goten, and then Goten backstabs him. Instead, Vegeta's like, get out of here, and then Goten just okay, and then just blasts him in the back. Like, it's not surprising in any way. You know what I mean?
Fair. That's fair. Wasted the opportunity because they already blew it before when he was getting like, I better go out there and help Gohan.
Yeah.
We also get a new eye catch this episode.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Everybody getting in the car.
Yeah.
That threw me so off.
Krillin losing his mustache for one shot.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I'll look for that for the next one.
Yeah, I put a post on the Kanzenshu forums in 2010 about it, so go look for it.
You're the first one to notice, I'm sure.
No, I was not.
Check 2010. Look what I found.
14 years later.
So during this fight with Gohan, and maybe it's also Goten at this point, Vegeta uses the Gallic Ho. He uses
not by name.
Not by name. He uses the Final Flash, not by name, and he uses Big Bang Attack, not by name.
Does he? When does Big Bang Attack happen?
It's in there. It's
I don't remember that. There was the one shot where like Gohan and Vegeta are doing the blast, and the blast collide over the water.
Yeah, and it looks like it's two beams. Yeah,
I always thought it was two beams, but then you just notice, it's just a reflection of water. I thought that was really cool to finally like realize what that is.
And that's I also wrote down the fighting at the dam is so cool, and the thing we've talked about multiple times is the way that the fighting environments in this show are so fun and inventive.
Yeah.
Especially versus something like Super, where it's like Battle of Gods is Wasteland and West City. Resurrection F is Wasteland. Then we go to a tournament, and then we go to future Wastelands and destroyed cities, and then another tournament.
Dude, even the Wasteland with Goten and the Goten and Gohan battle was more interesting than any other regular Wasteland just because of the chasm. Like, I couldn't agree more.
They know what they're doing there. Some really great action. Again, I'll just keep less. I wish we could do some punching, some kicking, something.
I guess.
But we do get Gohan dragging Vegeta's face, or is it Vegeta dragging Gohan's face?
No, Vegeta's being dragged.
Their hair's so similar looking, like pushing it through the ground like that as they're going. So there's still some like physical combat there.
True.
But
that's very memorable, man. Very, very memorable.
Then we get a bunch of exposition, just like who Baby is and the Tsufurians.
Yeah, Vegeta being like, I know your ki. Somehow. I've experienced the ki of a Tsufurian before.
Well,
when you were 8?
Yeah, it's weird because now it's like, the Saiyans came down, and also it was King Vegeta who did that. So it's like, okay, so all of that was super recent.
Recent? Because when they showed the Saiyan, the flashback, and the Saiyan came out of this pod, and he was still in like a barbaric outfit with just like a loincloth or whatever.
Yeah, but they're in the Frieza pods.
Let me pull up. You're gonna hear some clicking. Let me pull up the timeline.
He's doing it. He's pulling up his notes.
This is not the right timeline. That is my fanfic timeline. Let me pull up the actual timeline.
That's for a different podcast.
This is when Goten and Palace get married.
The Saiyans. Oh, Google Sheets. Come on.
What was Palace called in the dub? I think it was like Valise or something like that. And I fell in love, man. She was like,
Okay, primitive Saiyans arrive on planet Plant around year 550. The Saiyans mount their rebellion around 720 to 730. And Vegeta is born in 732. So
200.
That math... So it means that the Saiyans were there for a long time, causing trouble. But it wasn't until
730
around King Vegeta's reign that they overpowered the Tsufurians.
It made it seem like in the exposition to me that it was like they came and then a week later they were all gone and Vegeta led the charge.
Like. Yeah, so what you're saying is that the Saiyans arrived and they were causing trouble, but they weren't successful until King Vegeta
And the moon came out.
The moon came out, and he was charging everyone. Okay.
That's guidebook timeline lore. But I do agree with Randy. The way that it's presented here does make it seem like it was a pretty quick succession of events.
Yeah.
And then even if that was true, 7:30, that happens, and 7:32, Vegeta is born. That means Vegeta was not around to sense any Sifurian ki to like be able to know it.
There could have been stragglers. Like maybe he was part of like a hit squad who took out some of theher whatever remaining ones were.
That's a fun side story. It's whatever like Sifurian assassins are sent to.
Toyotaro will call you soon about that. So
whatever remaining ones didn't go into Baby. Yeah, maybe they were like.
Yeah, what was that? What was that exposition that the king of the Tuffles will like turn himself into Data and then send them off into space?
That was like the last one of them.
He was
because
the
they
last
had
one,
amassed a bunch, and like the king was the last one to be like, and the last of his like, I don't know, vengeful Data.
Right.
Because they're just doing Hachiyaku again.
Is Baby did nothing wrong? Baby's in the right here. He's getting his actual revenge he deserves.
Well, you're just continuing the cycle of violence, Doug. If I've learned anything from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance,
wow, you're a new man.
The memes of war and anger need to come to an end, and somebody's got to stop with the cycle of violence. Who gave him this damn
game? Who told him to play these games?
Then also Vegeta gets taken over. Baby gets to explain how the whole eggs things work. And that he's not out to absorb or like take over Goku now, because Goku was the first one to cross him, so he's just gonna kill him.
Yeah.
Which really you should go after Trunks, because Trunks wanted to kill you when you were in the baby tank.
Yeah. So, why Goku?
You know,
it's just because he's Goku.
Exactly, Goku time. That's what it's about to turn into.
But yeah, this is when his vengeful revenge gets too personal. Then now Baby's wrong. Now he shouldn't be doing this.
Now I can't side with him. They should have killed him before he was born.
I mean, he said himself he was satisfied with knocking Vegeta down, like not killing him, but just like after like punching him and fighting him. Like this is I feel good. My Tuffle race feels good about this. All right, you're good. Go home then. You're done.
Ken, you're a Baby and Vegeta expert. Is there an explanation at all of why? Now, when he takes over Vegeta's appearance changes. He gets lines in his eyes and on his face. His hair color changes. Or is that just that's just a cool thing we're doing?
Yeah, the reasoning is that it's hella cool.
Well, okay. I'm okay with
the guidebook. Toriyama says that in the guidebook.
I was wondering if the perfect files.
If I were to headcanon that kind of stuff, it would just be like Baby's power. It's just an expression of how powerful Baby has become.
Yeah, that he's like, I'm in the body I want to be. I'm going to fully immerse myself in this body.
I'm moving in my furniture.
Was always like, yeah, exactly. Everything was always temporary, but now it's like I'm putting up a nice little couch.
I'm going to put these lines in the eyes. Check this out.
Which is what Rild had going on. So
none of the Tuffles looked like that before, but whatever.
We're
Last Dragon Ball.
His hair dye.
That's true.
He was the first Ultra Instinct.
That's true. It's a sick look. I love white hair, Baby Vegeta. They get the last Dragon Ball, Goku and team. Now I can head home. Everything is roses.
We did it. We forgot to mention how they were like appropriating Mexicans in the previous episode. We're wearing Pam was in her Mexican getup.
Right.
We just got one ball left.
Okay. Are we sure that Mexicans exist in Dragon World, Doug?
Whatever she was wearing.
Kingdom.
Yeah.
I was offended for them. So. I'm just kidding.
I was offended at Goku appropriating comedian culture.
That's what did offend me too. What is funny about this? He's just in a fucking fake mustache and glasses. Like, what's funny? Toriyama would never.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know, man. You ever play Persona 4?
No.
Big Toriyama game.
5.
Big Toriyama game.
Where are you going with this?
There's this one girl, and the glasses with the nose and the mustache thing fucking cracks her up every time. So she's always putting them on people. So I guess it's just a thing they love over yonder in Nihon.
The Nihon.
Very entertaining episode. Plot, steam engine just going hard. Great fights. And good, making Vegeta cool, which is what we always wanted.
Besides the first of these batch episodes too, everything looked pretty dang good too. So like I had no complaints with the animation. Not too much.
The next episode is going to be fun because I watch when we watch these episodes, I always watch the next episode preview at the end.
Same.
And it's like, oh man, the Goku's hitting the fan, and we get to be in Goku's like seat. We know more than Goku at this point. So it's fun to see him have to experience all this for the first time.
That's the kind of shit we want to see. We're interested in, like we want to see.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. We've been going forever, so we're going to take a break here, and we're going to come back. We've got some trivia and some other good stuff, so strap in. Hey, we're back, and Vegeta's here now with Ken over there, I see. Which is
We're here. We're going to read some listener input.
You look good without the mustache.
Wait, which way am I looking? I'm looking up here.
Pointing into the stars. So our first message here from Cage saying, being back on Earth and having the full cast around has really made me turn around on GT. I was bored to tears with almost all episodes before now, but as soon as the focus shifted to Earth, I could feel a switch flip in my head, and now I'm genuinely excited to see what happens.
Same. I think I was forcing myself to like every episode that I like more than I actually liked them, but didn't like love them. But now I feel like I'm with Cage on this one, and yeah, I'm loving GT again.
It's a totally different flip now, so it's like,
you know, like you said, there's definitely a switch with a brand new attitude.
You guys singing is the best thing in the whole world.
We didn't sing yet.
Not yet, but there was that one a few episodes ago, and we included it in the post episode, and I listened to it so many times because it brought me such a big smile.
And which one? You'll just have to go back, re-listen to all of them and find out.
Listen to all of them. Another one here from the Tomes of Evil Podcast Network says, these sets of episodes are some of my favorites and most fondly remembered. 24 is quite unsettling. Seeing Baby's head protrude out of his victim's stomach makes my skin crawl. But episode 25 is the best. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but with some great comedy. Mr. Satan is laugh out loud funny in this. Vegeta and his dumb mustache, which I think is actually funnier in the dub version, all leading to Baby's reveal. This is like peak GT in some ways. Baby is not just my favorite GT villain, he's in my top 5 Dragon Ball villains.
And we did not mention this at the time, but episode 25, Yamamuro.
Yamamuro. Yeah.
Yamamuro. Yeah, now that he mentions it, the mustache thing, and like even the part, I think they hit it better where Bra is telling Vegeta that you look like a dork, and then Vegeta remembers it. Look like a dork. Look like a dork. Look like a dork. And this one it had the less impact of just like you don't look good. You don't look good. You don't look good. It would have been funnier like a name call.
That's fair.
We're not here to talk about the dub.
Get out of here, Tomes.
Memories.
Just kidding. Obviously kidding.
We got here from Nerdy Norwegian, who shouts out as a new listener.
Hell yeah.
Randy and I were recently on the Kanzenshu podcast to talk about the some little game called Kakarot and some little DLC called the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. I don't think it's called that. 23rd World Tournament.
Right.
So we were on there to talk about that, and we impressed the hell out of Nerdy Norwegian. And he said, you know what? I'm going to start listening to We Got a Podcast.
Nice.
Now, if you have started at episode 1, you won't see me for like 50 episodes. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry
so
about
with me
that.
and so with Doug and Randy here.
Yeah.
The prime years is what you're getting first.
So anyways, Nerdy Norwegian at Genny Dude or Jenny Dude. The baby arc, How I Wish I Could Love You. I really like the Earth plot with the characters back on Earth fighting each other, and parts here are genuinely great. The scene of Baby taking over Vegeta is genuinely creepy and scary IMO. But the quality of the writing and general plot keeps this from reaching its full potential. This is something I would love a game like Kakarot to cover and fine-tune the plot into something better. So I think this arc is probably going to be too large of a scope for Kakarot.
A lot of character models you got to make.
You have to turn Goten into a playable character.
Yeah. Well,
Do you? I think they'll just cheat and
yeah,
just
they'll
do cutscenes for like
cutscene,
all
yeah.
that. Yeah,
it's true. They would love to do that.
they could do it.
You need new environments.
Mm-hmm.
But what a send off that would be for season 2
Man, that would
of
be
the
good.
season pass.
Right?
Is there season 3 of the season pass, or is that?
They're
gonna be it?
not going to tell us until after season 2.
There
okay.
will be. There will
But
be.
there
You're
will be.
hearing it here
Wow.
first. Season 3 of Kakarot confirmed.
Don't confirm that. Unconfirmed.
No, I'm confirming it.
All right.
Quote
And
me.
if you can't trust
Source
me, yeah, quote me. I'm your source. I want to see this on the Kanzenshu Wiki. First announced on the We Got a Podcast.
Oh, we got a podcast. Yeah.
Okay, guys. You guys ready to do some trivia from our
Yeah.
good pal Zenpai?
And Zenpai,
boy.
we do love you, Zenpai.
God, we do.
I hope that goes without saying.
We
yeah.
tease you. I tease you.
Ken
But it's-
attacks.
It's out of love. That's how we
Yeah.
show our
He wants to
appreciation.
flame the fire of your trivia-ness.
He wants it harder, and that's just all he's got to do is insult the man who's given us this great trivia, taking the time out of his days, his busy days, to write these great trivia.
I don't want the
questions.
little Z. I want the big Z.
I was just gonna say that.
We have been podcasting together too long at this point.
Yeah.
You've been giving him this. He wants this.
What?
Oh shit!
He suddenly has a big Z. Where did he get that? Okay, focus up, guys. We got
I'm
trivia. I have not read this, which is always fun. I just get to go off of whatever Zenpai has here. But as per usual, say ding, raise your hand, whatever, so that you can be the first. And if you get it right, you get points. And if this is something we already talked about, we attribute some sort of negative multiplier to Zenpai's points.
I tell you what, this time, Zenpai, you don't lose any points. That's my gift to you.
No matter what.
No matter what, you get a free week.
Dude, just after confirming new season of Kakarot DLC, Ken goes and does this.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah. And then also this new wrinkle in the rules we've had, besides just negative points that Zenpai apparently will not be getting this episode. If he manages to stump both of you, he gains points. So he can crawl out of this hole that he has made for
Almost
himself.
too easy with me
Unless
here.
he's pulling questions from future episodes.
Right. No cheating.
He does now say in episode in a bunch of these. So watch
Oh,
yourself.
so he's got receipts. All right.
He's listening. He's the Santa Claus of trivia. He's always watching.
Let's go.
Question 1, episode 23 showed us that Giru had a special feature installed. What was this special feature? 23 was the first episode we watched out of the... Okay, Doug has raised his big Z.
He can detect data. I don't know.
Incorrect. Ken,
I have no idea.
what new feature does he
What
display?
new feature? All right, let me think about this. All right.
Can he cook and clean now?
He can shoot his arm out beyond a planet's increasing gravity to attach to the
he
capsule
can.
corp ship in ways that should not make sense. Boom.
And makes no reason because he just does a rebound, a recoil Kamehameha anyway to get further
Yep.
away. No point in that.
I got it.
Okay,
We can move on
well,
to the next question.
I'll give it to you, but I got to tell you what Zenpai put as his answer.
All right.
He has a metal dissolving missile.
Oh, their
To-
ship is all metalified and
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
All right. So you don't get any points back for that one because I did provide an answer that just didn't happen to be your answer.
Right.
I'm going
He's
to say
happy-
that's
he's-
correct
Pretty right.
as a
To
referee.
be fair for Zenpai, that's like the first thing of episode 23, so he could have been more.
Yeah, it is. The very first thing. Yeah.
All right, question number 2. How many more times is the gravity on the star that was sucking up the spaceship where Baby put the 1-star Dragon Ball as compared to the one on Earth? Big Z Doug.
60 times.
Can I use my notes?
If you took the notes, you can use the notes.
Okay. Here we
You
go.
can just say I'm wrong. You don't have to let
I
me
have got.
burn out here.
I'll show
Doug, you are wrong.
I'll show you the
Okay,
notes
thanks.
too, so you can see it. 68.47,
That is correct.
which I write down.
Whoa.
Sometimes I write down these things just because I know Zenpai, he's watching too. Yeah.
Dude, 60 was just like out of the back of my head. Like I felt like that was right. I'm glad
You
that
were
I got
super
that
close.
close. Yeah.
There's a
You looked at me
future-
like I was nowhere near. Like it was gonna be 600 or something like that.
I
Thanks,
was
man.
waiting for Ken to just be like, I already know the number. So
There's a future episode where a taxi passes by real fast and it says something on the top of the taxi, and I'm like, I gotta figure out what that said. 'cause
prefer
you never
Zenpai?
know.
he also puts a note here. Not sure if you should be comparing the gravity of stars to the gravity of planets, but whatever what GT wants to do, that's fine. Question 3. This is not actually the first time Goku has been shown to be afraid of needles. When was the first time that he was shown to be afraid of needles? Big Z Doug.
I'll take this. Ken knows it, but the Saiyan arc, filler episode when after the battle with Vegeta. Is that
That's
right?
correct. Ken, I will let you steal his points if you can tell me the episode number.
Is there a negative effect if I get my guess wrong?
You don't get a point.
Negative.
be-
Episode 35.
Within 5 episodes? Can you get him if he's within 5 episodes?
See, you can't say that after he's already given the number because guess what? He is. It's episode 40.
Oh, dang. I'll take a 1/10 of a point on that one.
Yeah. We'll give you that one.
Scorekeeper out there, Ken has obtained 1/10 of a point.
Update that, please.
Update that, please.
Add to the wiki.
Next question. Question 4. What did the cloud Goku was looking at look like in his own words?
He did say some dumb shit.
Ken.
Like a cream puff?
Boom. You got it.
Was it a cream puff specifically? Nice.
Cream Pafu.
Cream puffu.
Question 5. In episode 24, despite not ever naming it, Baby ends up technically and essentially being the latest in a long line of people that made use of a simple but very effective technique shown in early Dragon Ball. What is that technique?
Oh.
Ken.
Taioken.
That's right. The solar flare, the Taioken, uses it to get away from everybody.
Wait, what was the question? Read that again for me.
In episode 24, despite not naming it, Baby ends up technically and essentially being the latest in a long line of people that made use of a simple but very effective technique.
Okay. I heard that wrong, as if like he named it for the first time.
No, he didn't say it out loud.
Gotcha.
On Zenshu Wiki. Let's take a look. Go ahead, keep going. I'm gonna look it up.
Question 6. There is a reference to real-world events towards the end of episode 24. Which one?
Whoa. Real-world events?
Yeah, man.
Is Hitler back from movie 12?
The plane just hit the second tower?
Oh my god. They were ahead of the game on that one.
Toei, you should have warned somebody.
Toei, why?
In the airport, right in front of the lady that ends up getting possessed by Baby, a newspaper makes reference to the 2002 FIFA World Cup, which was held in both Korea and Japan, and that ultimately resulted in Brazil's 5th ever victory of the tournament. They've been chasing the 6th one ever since, to no avail. Yet, the United States also miraculously beat Portugal in the 2002
That's why
FIFA World Cup.
Senpai remembers it.
Crushing. Absolutely terrible.
Quick note about Taioken.
Yeah.
That is technically not what Baby's using. In the Chozenshu 4, which is the most updated guidebook we have for this kind of stuff, Baby is not listed as a user of Taioken. The users are Tenshinhan, Kuririn, Goku, Cell, Trunks, and Gohan.
Just because he's not listed doesn't mean...
Are there other GT characters in the listings of techniques?
Hold on. The Trunks thing is not in the book. I think that might have been from... He uses it explicitly in Super, so...
Okay, so that's not in that book.
But no, but Baby is not listed anywhere.
But like I said, are there other, in that listing of techniques, any GT characters mentioned?
So this is going to be future spoilers, but there is mention of Goku using it in GT. So GT, they were GT minded at this time.
Okay, gotcha. That was my
yes, I do generally agree, and not just because I got that answer right.
Next question. By what time does Palace have to be back home? What's her curfew? Ken.
3?
Incorrect. Doug.
I'm going to say 9.
Ooh, Zenpai, you're getting a point here. 5 p.m. is the time that she needs to be home.
Dang, the rich need their sleep, huh?
That's true. Second to last question. Besides being able to locate Dragon Balls across much larger distances, Giru's Dragon Ball radar has one more advantage compared to Bulma's original Dragon radar. What is it?
Just read that question again?
Yeah. Besides being able to locate Dragon Balls across much larger distances, Giru's Dragon Ball radar has one more advantage compared to Bulma's original Dragon Ball radar. What is this advantage?
Oh.
Ken.
Is this going to be the thing about the big dinosaur?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can detect Dragon Balls inside living beings.
Zenpai, you're saved.
Because
by my
Ken
mercy.
gave you the... Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise...
Even though we already discussed it.
Sorry, man. We got...
funny.
And again, you missed the episodes where they explained it.
It's true. Those were the lost episodes that Funimation
episodes, yeah.
meant to include, but yeah, we didn't get those. And the last question, what ability is Bra shown to be capable of doing despite her age? Ken,
I don't.
I
even
wouldn't
wanna
answer
say
that if I were you.
I don't want to say.
I wouldn't answer.
Yeah,
I would
never
if I were you.
you guys
You
said
skip
it
over this
during
question.
the episode.
I
You
don't want
guys-
to touch that.
I think Doug said it during the episode when we talked about it.
She can't. She can fly. She can't
No.
fly.
No, what ability does she have despite her age?
Oh, she can drive a car.
That's correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
So again, twice saved by Ken's mercy. Zenpai, again, thank you so much. I love that you're doing that. It takes a load off my shoulders, and it's fun for all three of us because I don't know what's going to be happening. So
She should have just flown. It's so stupid that they made her drive the damn car.
it's cooler. It's cooler that she's driving a car.
Nailed it.
So this is going to wrap us up, guys. Thanks again for another long episode talking about GT.
Jesus, this is a long episode.
Yeah, we covered 5 goddamn episodes.
We enjoyed
So,
them a lot. So
We did. It's filled with love. So thank you for listening. We love interacting with you and keeping you in the conversation, talking about our favorite franchise in the world. Tweet at us or X us, I guess, at We Got a Pod. You can email us at wegottapod@gmail.com.
thank you to Rifti Beats for letting us use this track, Kakarot theme hip hop trap remix. You can find that track and other great music by Rifti on his SoundCloud. Ken, where can the good people find you?
You can find me on the website formerly known as twitter.com at Detective X.
There it is. Randy?
You can find me Threads, Blue Sky, X, if that's what you want, at Saber_Breaker. And I don't know what the timing is going to be like for this, but Tomes the Evil, who sent in some questions here, asked me to come on his podcast, talk about a Frieza. So we're going to do that, and that's going to be exciting. I don't know when it's going to be out, but you can bet your bottom dollar I'll tweet about it.
Go
Something.
hear some more Randy voice.
Yeah, man. And then also check out the most recent Kanzenshu episode where Ken and I were on there talking about Kakarot. So
Very
we're
enjoyable.
everywhere.
You can hear
I'm
how
not there, but it was still very enjoyable.
it's fun listening to that because Randy and I are so much more buttoned up on Mike's show.
Yes, they're so much more formal and
Well,
It's a different
yes,
energy.
Yes, Michael, the downloadable content.
Mr.
for,
Labrie.
This game released by Bandai Namco in
So,
the year 2020.
listen. I feel like this most recent episode, we were less buttoned up.
Yeah.
And that we were a little bit more casual and, easier going and maybe a bit more of goofsters, which I liked. I liked that. But that's just
Love
me.
it.
That's just how
It was
felt.
enjoyable to listen to. I love listening to you guys. But if you want to find me, you can find me at Doug on formerly Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube now. At We Got a Pod. I'm posting my TikToks on there.
Yeah.
Doug, where's your Blue Sky? Because I'm still showing that my invite code has not been used.
And send me an invite code, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. So if you want to give it to someone else, by all means, but
Just use it.
not-
Do it. It takes 5
I
minutes.
did not care enough to do it.
I
but it's
immediately
there.
searched for you after he sent that code, and I'm like, I gotta be the first. I want to be the first to follow him.
No one will be the first.
Well, you can be the first in a long line of firsts to subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet, and hit that like button, hit that notification button so that you'll be out shopping with your mom because you're being a nice
You go with your
nice son or daughter, and you're helping your mom with grocery shopping because she needs some help. Right?
Yeah.
Parents are getting older, not going to be around forever.
Oh God.
It's still sexier.
Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, ring that bell, review, especially if it's a negative review. We really want to hear those ones.
Oh
Please.
yeah.
We're gonna chortle. We're gonna drink our tea, and we're going. Let me know how much you didn't like that sound effect, guys. And thanks for watching.
Later.
Bye.